We're going to begin with approval of the agenda, and I'm going to need a motion for that, please.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. Moved and seconded. Okay. Anyone have anything they'd like to discuss? Oh, we need to vote. Okay. All those in favor? Okay. Thank you. Anyone have anything they'd like to discuss or add or share with us this evening in board dialogue? Okay. Looks like everybody's summer must be moving along pretty well. Communications. Anyone from the audience? Student voices. I don't think we have any letters going around.
You have a letter in your file on your laptop.
Okay. A letter in our file on the laptop. Got it. Okay, thank you. All right, superintendent's report. Natalie, tell us about our summer training.
We have had a phenomenal summer. There have been over 13 separate professional development activities that have involved teachers, administrators, operations, cabinet members. I think it's just a real tribute to the amount of time that staff have put in over this summer break time to be prepared. Some of the highlights were working on Common Core, the character education program, crisis prevention intervention, math at the middle school. So there's just been a lot of preparation in a very few weeks for the academic year, and we're ready and excited.
All right, any comments or questions about the upcoming year? Okay. On informational items, did we pull any of those?
There would be nothing we wouldn't pull any of those.
Okay.
We're going to go to.
Does anybody down to okay. Oh, hi Ben.
It's his first starting.
That's right. He doesn't have to go to the office for that. It won't go in your permanent record. Okay, so
I think we're good.
I think we are too.
Okay.
Okay. So down to discussion items.
I want to look at C.
And let's look at C because we want to talk about our meeting schedule. Okay, how about giving anything you want to talk to us about?
Yes. Annually, the board has to approve the schedule of meetings, and what we proposed was to keep the meetings the same, which would be 5 o'clock the third Tuesday. But what I did was I suggested the last Thursday of June in 2013, as we did this year, to set that up. We can decide at another time, but that seemed to be the pattern we've been following the last couple of years, so you would see that. And then all of the rest of the dates are the third Tuesday of the month for 5 o'clock. And we did talk about the special work session the public work session on August 7th for tax rate. So I included that in the annual list.
What day is that on?
I want to say Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday.
That will also allow us to do last minute hiring. We do have some hiring that will happen at that point in time as well.
Any questions or discussion? I think we're going to go on down to H. And Mr. Chad, will you speak to us, please, about technology?
You know what, it says H on here.
It says G.
on
No, it says
here.
G.
Yeah.
It's G. Okay, all right, it says that on there, but we're on technology.
Yeah, well, that's exactly. Please, please.
Here's G. Here's
We're
G.
just quibbling over the alphabet, so carry on.
Well, it's just in case I couldn't find it on here.
No,
it's not.
This is a different. This is
updated information.
Yes, sir.
Somehow these two got switched because
Yeah.
I just copied it, but it should be okay.
Right, I don't think
just
that's going to be
flipped.
an issue.
Okay.
Okay. This is going to look different. The information has been updated based on new information that I've received. The initial request or recommendation from our department was desktop purchasing in an off-lease capacity, coupled with leasing laptops. Since that had been put into board docs for your review, we've come into information that that's not the best option, that purchasing off-lease both desktops and laptops is the recommendation and the most attractive option financially for the district. As we talked about last month's meeting, the cost continues to increase over a 4-year span as more systems are rolled into a lease. By the time you get to year 4, you're about $450,000, give or take, a few $1,000s, and it stays at that consistent cost continually. It's a lot of money. It's a huge investment. So looking at the purchase option, if we're diligent in what we buy, and we have some guarantees from the company that provides us this equipment, that we get consistent models, they're standardized when we do buy, and that we get good current technology, not things that are multiple years old, and that we put this on a good 4-year rotation cycle and keep up with it, the costs are much more attractive to the school. Using numbers of, if everybody bought laptops, you're looking at a cost of around $190,000 for the first year cycle. So 475 units. If you went all laptops, which would be the more expensive between laptops and desktops, so it would be the high end of your cost. You're about $190,000 for those 475 units. And then every year thereafter, basically is going to be consistent. There may be minor increases as equipment would go up, but you're not going to have the climb like you would in a lease, where you're at $400,000 every year. We looked at the options, we researched warranties. With the equipment we're looking at, they will give us a 5-year warranty, and they will actually give us a handful of spares. So if I have one that happens to die, I rotate it out, I put in a request, they'll ship me another one. So the warranty claim, in my opinion, is going to be better with that situation than it would be in the lease. Because with a lease, I'm still going to have to go through the company. I'm going to have to spend an hour on the phone with them to troubleshoot a problem. And then I'm going to have to go through an RMA process to get it replaced. With the setup that we've kind of ironed out with CDI or a similar company, that's going to be the best bet. So the document, the attachment to the cover sheet, which goes through the actual purchases, is going to look very similar to what was in the board packet for last month. The only difference is we've scrapped the leasing option. This is for a purchase option. But the actual items that we're looking at are the same. So the wireless network, the computer purchasing, I gave a breakdown for what a desktop would look like in terms of specs and pricing, the same as I did laptops. We're going to do 475 units for the first 3 years, 387 for the last year. The split on those units as far as what is desktops and what is laptops, there will be some involvement with building administration to help us determine that. Obviously, they need to be involved in making that decision where they feel like it's best served. The cellular coverage boosters, which we talked about before, is a need at both Lincoln and middle school. The costs are not too extreme there. We looked at that as an outright purchase. The bus security systems to help take care of Stacy's fleet. We've broken that out over 2 years. There's 33 total that we need. To help with cost, we looked at doing 16 this year, 2012, 2013, the remaining 17 in 2013, 2014, which would also give us the camera systems, the DVRs, and the wireless uplink so that we can actually archive that recorded footage appropriately. And then the final 2 sheets are just the breakdown that we looked at previously in terms of how computers would be rotated on a 4-year cycle, phase 1 through 4, and how many units would go per building. But as it stands, based on our research, it is going to be much more beneficial in terms of cost to look at the purchase option, provided the companies will guarantee us hardware consistency, that it meets our standard, and that we stay on top of a rotation cycle. We will not get back in this same situation again.
So if you approve this proposal, we would put RFPs out and bring back contracts. We won't be purchasing at this point. We would put those RFPs out. We have figures from one company as a sample. We know that that's the minimum that would be there, and we would bring back responses to RFPs and be ready to purchase at the next board meeting if there's an approval for this plan.
And we'll make sure that the RFP is structured so we clearly define what our expectations and standards on hardware and warranty need to be, so that we don't have any gray areas.
I guess I only have one question, Chad, is when I look back on the board docs, it had a total expenditure of about $300,000. Now we're looking at an expenditure of $350,000.
300.
Can you explain the $50,000 difference to me?
Sure, 350 on the first year. The initial estimate was probably a little bit low on the 300 side. By the time you take 180, 190,000 for the first phase, you add 125, which is the allotment for the wireless network, you're already at 300 plus. It was a little low. Chances are the prices we'll be able to get will be a little under what I'm allowing as far as funds allocation, but I have to make sure that I'm at least covered in a not to exceed limit there. That also includes purchasing of the cell boosters and the first half of Stacy's bus units.
And that was my other question, Stacey, maybe they want to answer this question. How will you decide which 33 buses are going to get it versus the other 17? Is there a...
Route buses first, sub buses, then activity.
Okay.
So it's kind of based on that.
Okay,
So,
that's how.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in here. How many route buses do you have?
I have 27. And I have 2 that have the DVRs already.
So you have 25 buses, and you're gonna put them on 17, and you're gonna have 7 that are just old-fashioned.
Yes.
Okay.
For 1 year.
And what's the approximate cost we're talking about if we were to cover all route buses? 1,800 times?
1,800 times 33, which would be the total number of buses to be covered. Or are you just talking about the remaining
Yeah.
route buses?
I'm just looking at the, I was in that business for a little while, and, I can just see a parent working on me. Now, let me get this right. You've got cameras on 17 buses, my child's on one without a camera?
How many route buses do you have?
I have 27 route buses.
27.
45,000.
So it's just 48.
Yeah.
Well, but the 2 of them's
The
already
2
got it,
already
though.
have.
2 of them
And
are
what we're
good.
looking at is getting 17 of those this year.
Right.
And
Which
I'm
is
just looking
28.
at stretching it to 25 instead of 17, cover all your route buses. That's the only thing I'm saying. And then pick up the rest of them next year. So, I don't have a calculator with me, but were we 1,800 a copy?
1,800 a unit, yes.
It's 45.
4,500?
No, no, no.
45,000.
$45,000. For 7?
No.
No, for
I'm- no,
for
How much
25.
extra would it take to cover all the route buses? What your
I'm just
question
saying
is?
7. 1,800 times 7. Okay.
And the only thing I want to caution us, emotionally I'm there too, but remember that part of what isn't going to happen this year and is not going to be totally included in the budget are the repairs to the roofs that we really don't know what we're going to have to do yet. And so I just want to caution us about this. Originally, our plan was to replace all of that equipment over 3 years. We pushed it up to 2. And we can do 1, but remember that we're going to continue to eat into our fund balance, and we've still got $8.6 million of unknown in that roof repair issue that's going to still be sitting out there.
But I have to agree with Howard. If you do half of them, or 16, 17 of them, and you're out there with that other amount, 8, without cameras,
Which is
we're just creating
12,600.
havoc for
That's the
ourselves
difference.
and for Stacy.
12,600 to answer your question.
That's what my whole contention is. We're talking about covering every kid that rolls with sophisticated equipment. And we're dickering over $12,000.
Yeah, bear in mind too that if you do decide to do that and do it all in one setting, the budget amount that I have listed on the second page of your cover sheet for the next year obviously is going to decrease because I'm factoring the second half of those bus units in.
But I was just throwing out the idea that we're looking at 17 of them. $12,000 we're looking at doing. Every kid that rides on a route, you're going to
Sure.
have good pictures. You're gonna
I
have good
agree.
video.
So the original plan was to cover this many this year and then complete it next year?
Originally, we were looking over 3 years. we wanted to be able to move that up over too. And I certainly want that. I'm just trying to help the board remember that the additional commitments that we're looking at, we also appropriated about $10,000 at the last meeting to maintain the B team situation as well. And I'm fine with that. We can't have too much. I just want to make sure that we're remembering that we're going to have a larger amount set aside for the roof repairs than we normally would because we know what condition is there.
Chad, does our current base unit, is it going to accept all the data, or is there a base unit we have to purchase for the bus?
Well, this isn't for radios, this is for the security of the camera.
Right, the camera, but when it pulls in the lot, is there another system? we have-
That's contingent upon our wireless. So the wireless network that's listed in this
We'll take care of it.
take care of that connection. Yeah.
It's enough room on the server.
Why don't we put an RFP out and see what the cost would be for all of them, because these are estimates at this point. And when we come back, we can take a look at what those total amounts are going to look like. Part of the increase, I think, Ben, to answer your question, is that the cost of buying them was slightly more than leasing for 1 year. That's where your increase went. It's a much better deal to pay a little bit more and own them instead of leasing them. But the 1 year expenditure for the computers we needed for 1 year did go up when you were buying them. So what we can do is we can put the RFPs out, we can take a look at what we can come back with, look at what that total package would be. The distribution between the desktops and the laptops may help us cover some of that as well.
And is there any possibility that anyone who was, anyone that would give us an estimate would consider that if we did our whole fleet, there would be some kind of discount?
Bulk discount, if
Yes.
you will. That is a possibility, yes.
Well, and our mechanics will install it. It won't be an outside company, and that's just for the unit itself, just so you understand that.
Yeah,
too.
we might get a little bit. I don't think it's going to be a great deal, but it might help some, sure.
Every little bit helps.
Absolutely.
And that's a 3 camera system, right, Stacy?
Two.
2 cameras.
And color.
You okay with this?
I am, yes. Yes, the technology department has the recommendation that this is what we need to do. In terms of a 4-year replacement cycle, we need to make sure we purchase. It's the most fiscally responsible decision, in my opinion.
Stacy, if the mechanics are gonna do it, how quick will they be able to do, one bus?
I'm sure by the end it'll be quicker than the beginning, but I don't know that.
Well, the reason why I'm just saying, school's gonna start in August.
Well,
And
and I doubt.
we won't
that
have
We
them.
won't have them.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Right, I mean, as we get them in, that will be, they're fixing buses now, trying to get them
Right.
ready for school. They should have a lull there that they could be able to install those.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thanks
you
for all
very
your
much.
work, Chad.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to move to the consensual items, and I'm going to need a motion to approve specifically A, C, D, E, and F.
Would you say those again?
Certainly. Items A, C, D, E, and F.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Okay. I believe we're ready to move to closed session.
No, actually, we need to vote on B individually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And that's with and without signs, et cetera. And then we have to do G and.
I apologize.
That's
Okay. So, I need a motion to approve item B
Without signs.
without signs, etc.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Okay, now I need a motion to approve signs, etc.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Moved and seconded. All those in favor? And Mr. Harrington will abstain. I need a motion to approve.
Let's go with G for
G.
technology. on this one.
All right, we're gonna go with G as listed, technology. Okay, so I need a motion to approve item G.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. And, let's see,
H,
H.
staffing,
Uh-huh. got it.
custodial.
All right, I need a motion to approve the custodial staffing.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Okay. All right, how do we do? We done?
I think we're done.
All right,
That's
let's
all.
stick a fork in it and adjourn to closed session. Need a motion, please.
I make a motion to move to closed session to discuss personnel pursuant to 610-021, paragraphs 1, 3, and 13.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Flynn. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Roll call.
On,
Yes?
Kane,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
Lawson.
Yes.
Roethlisberger.
Yes?
No.
Okay.
Love it.
Closed session.
We're in closed session.